Hello grandpas and nerds around the world. Welcome to my battle camp, the perfect place for any strategy enthusiasts to search for validation in their hobbies. This time, we'll talk about some of the best management strategy games of all time that are worth playing even today. Since developers nowadays are combining lots of genre to make a fresh and unique experience, some of these games might not be a pure management game in its truest sense, but if you're looking for a fun experience, I hope this thing won't bother you too much. Are you ready? Let's go, Commander! Timberborn is a city-building game set in a post-human world, where intelligent beavers have risen as the dominant force in a landscape ravaged by drought and pollution. In this game, survival hinges on preparing for cyclical, environmental challenges. With alternating wet, dry, and toxic seasons, players must manage water carefully, stockpiling supplies, irrigating crops, and maintaining forests even when natural rivers run dry. The game's water physics and terraforming systems are also central to this effort, allowing players to build dams, floodgates, or even reshape the entire terrain. Planet Coaster is a theme park management game that delivers a deeply customizable and creatively empowering experience. Developed with a clear reverence for classic park management games, it expands upon their foundations with modern design sensibilities, an expansive toolset, and highly detailed control over virtually every aspect of park creation. At its core, the game offers three primary modes: Career, Challenge, and Sandbox. Challenge mode mirrors the structure of traditional Tycoon games, tasking players with building a park from scratch while balancing finances, research, and operational efficiency. Going Medieval is a colony building and survival strategy game set in a post-calamity medieval world. Central to the experience is the detailed simulation of medieval life. Each settler has distinct traits, professions, preferences, and needs. Characters like Grimbold demonstrate how personality and ability must be balanced to ensure productivity and morale. Moreover, meeting settlers' basic and personal needs, such as food, shelter, clothing, faith, and social satisfaction, is also essential to building a stable and efficient colony. Prison Architect is a complex simulation that challenges players to design, build, and manage a high-security facility with the precision of a city planner and the cold efficiency of a corporate warden. But unlike many management games, it demands active planning before execution. For example, buildings are drafted, zoned, and outfitted with essential furnishings. This freedom in design allows for varied layouts, but beware that the flexibility is sometimes matched by a high potential for error, particularly in the early game. Jurassic World Evolution 2 is a management sim that builds upon the foundation of its predecessor with a broader scope and deeper gameplay systems. However, the real stars of the game are the over 75 prehistoric species, including long-awaited flying reptiles and marine creatures. These animals exhibit more complex behaviors than before, with territorial instincts, dynamic interactions, and a range of emotional and physical responses to their surroundings. Two Point Hospital is a game that revives the spirit of classic hospital management games with a playful modern twist. At its core, the game is about designing and managing medical facilities. Starting with a bare plot of land, players must build treatment rooms, corridors, reception areas, and staff quarters to ensure smooth patient flow and operational efficiency. Hospitals can eventually grow into multi-building campuses, and the layout must be continuously refined to balance accessibility, aesthetics, and functionality.
Bungled Kids is full of wonderful entertainment for all.
Factorio is a base-building game that offers a deeply intricate and highly rewarding experience for players who thrive on optimization, automation, and problem-solving. At the heart of this game is its logistics-based gameplay. Players must gather resources, process them into components, and feed those into increasingly complex production chains. Every new objective requires carefully layered planning, Mistakes and inefficiencies are inevitable, but that's exactly what makes the experience organic and rewarding. Amazing Cultivation Simulator is a deeply intricate strategy and management game that draws heavily from Chinese mythology. Set in the fictional era, the game places players in the role of a grandmaster rebuilding a fallen cultivation sect, tasked with training disciples, mastering mystical arts, surviving in a hostile world, and ultimately seeking spiritual ascension and immortality. Not only that, expanding your domain means recruiting new followers, training them in cultivation methods, and occasionally sending them on expeditions that may uncover hidden mysteries. Songs of Six is an ambitious city-building and grand strategy hybrid that have you growing a humble settlement into a sprawling empire. At the heart of the game is the city-building experience, starting with survival-level priorities like food, warmth, and shelter. From these modest beginnings, players can grow their colonies into thriving metropolises housing up to 30,000 individuals. And as your population grows, the focus naturally shifts from micromanaging individuals to organizing group needs and navigating the complex social tensions that emerge from a multicultural, hierarchical society. Oxygen Not Included is a challenging and intricately detailed space colony simulation that tasks players with managing a group of clones deep beneath the surface of an alien asteroid. In this game, players must direct excavation, manage resource allocation, construct infrastructure, and carefully plan their colony's growth in a hostile subterranean environment. Oxygen, food, and warmth are perpetually in short supply, and keeping the colony alive becomes an exercise in meticulous micromanagement and long-term strategy. Noble Fates is a 3D fantasy kingdom management simulation that blends colony-building strategy with emergent storytelling and RPG elements. At the core of the experience is the simulation of individual characters with complex motivations. Each mortal in the realm has an alignment, opinions, and a memory system that tracks key interactions, shaping their behavior and future choices. Their ambitions and beliefs can align or clash with others, forcing the player to manage not just productivity, but politics, loyalty, and social cohesion within their realm. Frostpunk is a society survival game that merges city-building mechanics with moral complexity, placing players in command of the last city on a frozen Earth. At the core of the game is the Generator, a massive steam-powered engine around which the entire city is built. As temperatures plummet, players must allocate limited resources like coal, food, and manpower to keep their citizens alive. And beyond city management, players can also send scouts into the Frostland to uncover lost expeditions, survivors, resources, and hidden lore. Game Dev Tycoon is a business simulation game that takes players on a nostalgic journey through the history of the video game industry. Starting in the 1980s, players assume the role of a game developer building a company from the ground up. As time progresses, familiar milestones such as the rise of console gaming and the emergence of online multiplayer are subtly reflected through the introduction of new platforms and genres. This timeline-based progression grounds the simulation in recognizable industry trends while allowing for alternate outcomes based on player choices. Rusty's Retirement is a compact idle farming simulation that delivers a relaxing and well-designed gameplay experience. At its core, the game follows the familiar idle game principles. Players invest resources, setting up automated production, and gradually grow a thriving farming ecosystem. The game's structure is also straightforward. You'll plant crops, earn coins and biofuel, and use them to expand your farm with additional land, bots, decorations, and animal husbandry. Football Manager 2024 is a sports management game that retains the core appeal that has defined the series for years. One of the most significant technical advancements in this version lies in the updated match engine, which introduces more lifelike ball physics, smoother player animations, and a refined lighting system. The introduction of the inverted fullback roll and smarter rotational movement also brings a new level of nuance to tactical setups, allowing managers to implement modern football philosophies with greater accuracy. Against the Storm is a compelling city builder game that merges traditional colony management with roguelite mechanics to create a uniquely replayable and tension-driven strategy experience. But unlike most city builders that revolve around the development of a single enduring settlement, this game challenges players to build a series of temporary outposts. Each settlement must contend with its own set of hazards, resource limitations, and environmental conditions while contributing to the overarching goal of advancing the smoldering city through persistent upgrades. Lobotomy Corporation is a high-stakes management game that blends the structure of a corporate simulation with a psychological horror narrative. At its core, the game tasks the player with assigning employees to interact with various abnormalities across numerous containment units. However, where traditional Tycoon mechanics might reward efficiency and optimization, Lobotomy Corporation imposes constant uncertainty, risk, and hidden mechanics. Every creature is a black box of behaviors and reactions, so understanding how to manage them must be learned through repeated observation, documentation, and experiments. Manor Lords is a medieval strategy game that offers a rich blend of historical city building, resource-driven economics, and real-time tactical warfare. At its foundation, the game is a gridless city builder that allows players complete freedom over the placement and layout of buildings. Settlements grow organically around central marketplaces, influenced by trade routes, geography, and resource availability. And as homes are built and extended, they take on functional roles within the economy, raising livestock, cultivating small gardens, and supporting the wider population beyond centralized farms and industry. Kenshi is a singular achievement in open-world RPG design, a harsh, unforgiving sandbox where survival is earned, not granted. A major strength of Kenshi lies in its squad-based management. Players can create and control a team of unique characters, each gaining experience in specific skills through use. There are no traditional classes, progress is organic and tied directly to actions. Not only that, injuries also leave visible marks, and progression is reflected in both statistics and physical form, reinforcing the sense of gradual evolution. Dwarf Fortress is a colony sim that offers what is arguably the most complex and detailed world generation and colony management experience ever created. At its core, the game is a construction and management game set within a procedurally generated world. But what distinguishes it from virtually every other game in the genre is the sheer scope of its simulation. Every world is not merely a terrain map, but a fully realized historical and cultural ecosystem, complete with centuries of generated history, dynamic civilizations, unique artifacts, mythology, and many more. Planet Zoo is a meticulously detailed zoo management simulation that combines creative freedom with a strong focus on animal welfare and environmental authenticity. At its foundation, the game offers two primary pillars: construction and management. The game provides a robust sandbox where players can sculpt terrain, design intricate habitats, and create elaborate themed environments using thousands of modular pieces. The level of customization available is extensive, allowing for realistic enclosures, immersive visitor paths, and unique architectural styles that reflect biomes from across the globe.
The zoo's mechanics did too, if you want to add the research center to the existing building.
Cities Skylines is a game that redefines the modern city building simulation by combining intuitive design tools with a robust simulation engine that challenges players to construct and manage expansive urban environments. At its core, the game offers a layered and demanding simulation, tasking players with balancing the fundamental needs of a city's population against the constraints of budget, geography, and policy. One of the game's most notable strengths lies in its sophisticated traffic simulation. Road planning and transit logistics are not mere aesthetic choices, but pivotal aspects of a city's functionality. Kerbal Space Program is a spaceflight simulation game that combines scientific principles with chaos and creativity. At its core, the game tasks players with managing the space agency of an alien species known as the Kerbals. What distinguishes the game is its adherence to realistic physics, particularly in the fields of orbital mechanics, aerodynamics, and propulsion, all of which are presented through gameplay systems that reward experimentation. Not only that, the simulation also extends well beyond the launch pad, as players must navigate complex orbital transfers, plan interplanetary missions, and even execute landings on celestial bodies. Dyson Sphere Program is an ambitious sci-fi factory simulation and strategy game that merges the addictiveness of automation with the wonder of space exploration. The game places you in the role of a spacefaring engineer tasked with building the ultimate energy harvesting megastructure, a Dyson Sphere. What sets this game apart is the scale of its resource management. As you automate production chains, you'll quickly find the resources of a single planet aren't enough. In the end, you'll be encouraged to go multi-planet, establishing logistics networks that move materials across solar systems and link together planetary outposts into one synchronized industrial web. RimWorld is a colony simulation game that is centered around an adaptive artificial storyteller that generates emergent narratives. In this game, the environment is procedurally generated, offering a wide variety of biomes such as forests, tundras, jungles, and deserts, each with unique environmental hazards, flora, and fauna. Colonists' skills, backgrounds, and personalities will affect their roles and interactions. Social bonds also form and dissolve, leading to scenarios of cooperation, betrayal, and emotional turmoil.